Oh, hello everyone. It's Susie Crypto Granny here. Today is the 22nd of September 2024 and the time in Europe is 18:39 p.m. Hope you've all had a great weekend and still enjoying your weekend. I hope you're looking after your beautiful family, your beautiful children, your beautiful dogs and animals and just people in the world and animals in the world just to make this a better world. Now, we've seen a lot of information in the last week. I look at everything daily. Just because I don't send you out anything, um, it doesn't mean that I'm not doing work, clearly. Now, what I've done on the platform is I've put an explainer on the platform and also an analysis. One's about meme tokens under analysis on the platform, and the other one is an explainer about funding costs, which are very important when you're using loans or margin or borrowing to buy cryptocurrency. So please look at those for your education. And let's continue with this podcast about everything that happened last week. We saw the FOMC, the Federal Open Markets Committee, the US Federal Central Bank, go 50 basis points in a cut, bring US cash rates, the Fed fund target rate from 5.25 and to 5.25 range, 5.25 to 5.5%. And we saw them bring that down 50 basis points. Most of the market was talking 25 basis points. I was calling 50. They needed to do it simply because the US economic fundamental position is terrible, falling off a cliff, and the debt levels are rising extremely. I mean, basically, the debt is going up, within 3 months, $1 trillion, and the US interest rate bill is about $1 trillion a year, and it's just out of control. The market's starting to believe that the US can never pay that back, and subsequently, we've seen a lot of weakness in the US dollar against the yen, particularly. And with an easing, that will bring the currency down. And there's many other people out there in the YouTube world that are talking about, having a stronger dollar and having higher interest rates. And that's garbology, I have to tell you that, because the US has a massive debt problem, not just public, but also private. The private debt's 120 trillion, and the US public debt is something like about 37 trillion and going up $1 trillion every 3 months. The US in that scenario needs lower interest rates, absolutely, because they have to pay back this money to the rest of the world. So obviously they need lower interest rates. Also, the US, from an economic perspective, being too high makes the US non-competitive in terms of trade, in terms of selling their own product. If I'm in Turkey or somewhere else, and now all of a sudden the US is, 33 or 35 times more expensive to the lira than what it was a year ago at 18. Me as a Turk, it's going to cost me a lot of money to import US goods. And the US is not competitive and they're not manufacturing anything, which then feeds into growth, employment, clearly, no manufacturing jobs, no employment, no taxes and everything else. Now, at the moment, Bitcoin's done exactly what I expected to do. It traded in the low 50,000s. It basically, came off there very, very quickly. Many people were calling it lower than that. That's garbology. There is no supply of Bitcoin. We have massive, money going into Bitcoin ETFs, particularly BlackRock and Fidelity. More money going to Bitcoin than Ethereum. It's why I don't like Ethereum for many different reasons, as you know. I don't like Cardano and I don't like XRP. So please don't hold these in your portfolio if you're a client of mine. So just this crypto compare on a 24-hour time clock on the 22nd today. The open for Bitcoin was 63,213, high was 63,540, and we've got it around, if you look at live coin watch, about 62,300. People keep trying to sell this thing down, but they're completely wrong. Bitcoin by the end of the year, I believe it will be 125,000 to 150,000. The Fed will cut again. They need to, and that will propel the risk markets. We're seeing the US equity market seriously priced for perfection. There's a big risk that that thing can come down very quickly, but alternatively, Bitcoin is going to do extremely well, and other coins that we buy in our investment portfolio, number 7. Now, also, please, if you're new to this, please look at our platform under portfolio management and our latest portfolio is investment management number 7, and they're exactly the coins we have, and you need to replicate the exact coins that we have and the weightings. It's very important because we have a skew to AI, and we've been in that AI industry sector for a long time, and we have a skew to the best coins in the market, like, Bernard's, for example, like Solano, like Chainlink. It's a no-brainer, like ASI and so forth. So if your performance is not as good as our investment portfolio, number 7, then you've got a real problem. There's something in your portfolio we are not sitting in, which is underperforming your portfolio. So it's really important to make sure your portfolio is exactly the same as ours. Also, I repeat again, operational risk is so important. If you're new, please look at the operational risk of cryptocurrency. People are getting murdered for cryptocurrency. So please don't tell anyone that you have cryptocurrency. Only tell your loved ones. Have someone that can back you up in terms of your private keys and where you store your crypto, because if you fall off the perch, you don't want to be like that Mr. Mellon, unfortunately, who owned 3 billion of XRP. Apparently, the poor guy was a very big drug addict. He ends up dying in Mexico or somewhere, and no one knows where his 3 billion XRP is sitting. So all these things are really important. We have all this stuff on the platform. Please look under operational risk on getting started. It's so, so important. Also, I'm looking at white hacking, and it's really easy to hack someone, seriously. And I'm going to do some videos on that as well, because I'm looking at white hacking, and it's a big business. And seriously, it's not hard to hack people. Because of the social media that we live in, basically, it's easy to get people's passwords and, their emails and all sorts of things. So please be mindful, but we will do more on operational risk in terms of what sort of things can get hacked. I think I need to educate all you guys in terms of that. If you're going to have crypto, please have a different phone for your authentication, for example. Have a different email. Separate everything, right, from your normal activities of life. It's really, really important. So, look, I might go to live coin watch first, and then I'll go through the news stories. Some of these news stories are a bit old because I prepare videos over the days, but we can talk about those as we go along. So let me take a break, grab yourself a cup of coffee or a glass of water, or whatever it might be, and we'll talk about live coin watch, what the market's doing. Also, some of the most important news stories last week and over the weekend. Clearly, we only cover the main news stories that are going to affect our current investment portfolio number 7. And as I said before, the risk is this market goes higher and higher, not lower. To me, every dip, if you can afford it, buy the dip with the coins that we buy. My favorite meme token, as you know, if you want a bit more risk and you can handle the risk of a meme token, is Pepe. I think Pepe is going to perform phenomenally this year for many different reasons. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's go to live coin watch and let's talk about the market. Bear with me for a minute. Just had a thought. Why do they call it white hacker and black hacker? It's so racist. Like, black is really bad and white is good. I mean, gee, I just have to say I'm learning to be a good hacker, not a bad one. I mean, that terminology, I apologize, is very, very racist, I have to say. Anyway, let's, oh, excuse me. Too much smoking, I still smoke. Anyway, let's get on with this. Right. Market cap, total market capitalization is 2.207 trillion, still extremely low, people. The last rally we had, which was, God, 2 or 3 years ago, it got to over 3 trillion, then they sold it. The market cap of crypto is still extremely low, and it's still extremely cheap. Cheap, 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 cheap. Again, like I said before, the crypto market does not price forward earnings, and it should, like the equity market, right? In the equity market, people buy a share that's valued at 20 times forward earnings. The crypto market doesn't do that. Plus, the crypto market, you can stake at very high levels, 20% per annum or more. And, the fiat market does not compare at all when you look at a 10-year bond at 3.45% or something. Okay, so market cap 2.207 trillion, 24-hour volume is low at 41.2. It's reasonable, but it is low. And liquidity is quite good at 5.966 bill. I don't get too worried about liquidity unless it's down to 1 bill, 1.5 bill, because it means the whole market is cashing out. If that liquidity goes lower, it means the market's cashing out. If it goes higher, it means that people are putting money into the market. Bitcoin dominance is 56.269. We are seeing a slight decline as the altcoins perform better, which is good. XRP dominance 1.512, Ethereum dominance 13.74. Last year, Ethereum dominance was about 18-20%, so I believe it will go lower. I believe Tron dominance will go higher. It's still extremely cheap for the metrics and the revenue that this Tron network is earning. They're earning a fortune, Tron. The coin at whatever it is, 15 cents is a joke. It's still extremely cheap. Dominance 0.5943%. Link is really, really cheap. Dominance 0.31. I'm expecting that to be 3% within the year, like a Solana dominance over 3%, and Bitcoin Cash dominance 0.3, and I'm expecting that to be higher too, because once Bitcoin's gone, they'll go to Bitcoin Cash. It's a no-brainer. Bitcoin currently is at 62,876, Ethereum 2,572, Binance 580, Solana 143.68, XRP 0.59, can't get through 63 cents, Dodge 0.106, Tron 15 cents, ADA 0.34, don't like it, AVEX 26.97, love it. What else we got? OP 39.97, Link so cheap, it's a joke, just over $11 at 11.08. Bitcoin Cash is very cheap at 337. Dot very cheap 433. And I'm not in Litecoin because I just don't see it performing as well as anything else that we're in. Fetch, I love ASI $1.60 and going higher, and Pepe near 0.0050 and an 8. And I think that goes much higher as well. So that's my view. If we go to the portfolio, let me see if I can get that up. Bear with me for a minute. Oh, here we go. And let me just put this on so that you can see this. Bear with me, I've just got to share the screen. There we go. Okay, so currently our portfolio, we have acquisition costs, and this is how to read it. And anyone that's new to my client service, please put your crypto on Crypto Compare. It's for free, and it shows you exactly what you're holding, how much money you're making compared to the market movements every day and the weekly. And, you know, you need this. Without this, you are breaking operational risk rules, okay? It's really important to exactly every time you buy or sell crypto, put it into Crypto Compare, okay? There's also tax here for accounting and everything, right? If you go to accounting, there's tax information as well. And this service is free. It's owned by Binance, okay? One day they will probably make us pay for this, but we've had this service for years, and it's a very, very cheap service, and I like it very much. So the overview is acquisition costs for our investment portfolio. Number 7, we started on the 1st of August 2023, over a year ago, and often you do that, right? You set up a portfolio, it takes at least 2 years, right? But if we get to our target of 1,000 times return, we will be selling like we did last time, okay, 3 years ago, whatever it was, for investment portfolio number 5 mainly. So acquisition cost 113.81, 113,000 odd. We've already realized some profit with BCH. Accumulative loss at the moment is 25.63, which is nothing. The market could change that within days. And also daily profit is just down 1.63, which is fine. If we look at the side here, just for your knowledge, you know, minimum portfolio, least profitable, best coin, and this sort of thing, and it's Fetch, and I love Fetch. Fetch is an amazing story. We go to the risk analysis. Bear with me. It tells us how much percentage we've got in Link, 18 odd percent. It's a no-brainer. Bitcoin, BCH, ITX, and so forth. Okay, this tells you whether it's on the exchange or wallet, and you can do that for your own Crypto Compare. To be specific, volatility is very low, and this is not right. We can get out of all our crypto within less than a minute, okay? But I do like this whole scenario. You can collapse this, you know, obviously change the dates, all sorts of things. It's a great tool for something that's for free, okay? And then you've got your accounting information here, and it tells you everything, okay? And you can send that to your accountant for tax and that sort of thing. And you need to do that for tax reasons. We go down here. If we collapse it, we go like this and we get our main holdings, okay? Sorry, we go like this and we get our main, is that right? No, collapse, sorry. Collapse, and then we get our main holdings, and you can see that as you go down, okay? And I love this, so please use this, people, okay? Now, the next thing is we're going to go on to our videos and what was important last week. Obviously, there was the Mr. Trump assassination, unfortunately, the second one, which is horrible. You got to wonder what the Secret Service are doing. The FOMC came out with 50 basis points. We saw a lot of volatility in markets. US equity markets higher and higher, Bitcoin and crypto higher and higher, and the US coming off dramatically, and the US debt position getting worse and worse. So let's go to those videos. I always forget what I do, and let's make sure that you can see those as my share. Okay, bear with me for a minute. Oops, wrong one. I always do that. Okay, so what we got here, there we go. So let's play this and see what we've got here. So I think the first video was Mr. Trump, unfortunately, the assassination. Oh, no, it's not, sorry. To do with Deutsche Bank subsidiary. They joined forces for digital assets, a corporate banking partnership. It's a big one. The Germans are very pro cryptocurrency, Commerzbank corporate clients for professional custody and cryptocurrency assets and cryptocurrency finance. The Germans are very big in crypto because their super funds are now allowed to invest 20% of their asset holdings in crypto, okay? Commerzbank and Crypto Finance, a subsidiary of Deutsche Börse, which is the exchange, are now offering corporate clients cryptocurrency and digital assets. It's great. This is fantastic for Germany. It's fantastic for the crypto market. And there's a lot of reasons that the Germans need to buy crypto because it's going to be the best performing asset over and above other assets in the world. And we're seeing that everywhere. We're seeing MicroStrategy buying more and more crypto, selling bonds. We're seeing other corporate treasuries do the same thing. We're seeing global sovereign wealth funds buy crypto. It's a no-brainer. And Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum crazily, okay? It's a no-brainer. So this big bank, it's very large in Germany, offering cryptocurrency services to their clients with a regulatory compliant, reliable platform is fantastic. It's a great story for crypto. Crypto is becoming more like every day rather than being, it's a Ponzi scheme when people don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like I said before, if I don't know anything about cars, I don't talk about cars and profess to be an expert on cars, where a lot of people with big egos think that they can talk about crypto and say it's a Ponzi scheme when it's not, because they don't know anything about crypto. Seriously, it's just unbelievable. I wish I'd just say nothing, to be honest. If you don't know something, don't say anything. It's just that simple. Let me have a cup of coffee. So that's a pretty good story, and it's very bullish for cryptocurrency. Very, very bullish. The Germans are pretty big savers. Culturally, they're like the Dutch. They don't like borrowing money. And it's a very good story for the German people and their specialized funds, which are now, or like super funds, or compared to a 401k in the US, they now can invest 20% of those funds in crypto assets. Now, as I said, poor Mr. Trump has had a second assassination attempt on his golf club, which is quite amazing actually, because apparently this fellow was there for 11 hours in the bushes, right? He was armed, hiding in the bushes near the golf course, and I mean, how do they not see this guy? He was armed with an AK. I don't know what this is, an AK style rifle, and was 300 to 500 yards away from Mr. Trump, right? He did get caught apparently on the highway, but golly, I mean, this is a second attempt. I mean, I would be scared running for politics in the US. Seriously, I would be very frightened to run for politics in the US, and I wouldn't do it. This guy seems very strange. There's a lot of charges. Apparently, this guy had done a lot of crimes. And he went to the Ukraine, which is very odd. So, clearly he's not all there. He's got some mental health issues by the sounds of it. So, certainly the Secret Service security for Mr. Trump would be under a lot of pressure at the moment with, two attempted assassinations. It's just incredible. Unbelievable, really. No, I mean, honestly, if you don't like someone, you don't go and kill them. It's just nuts. You know what? You don't like someone, so you just knock them off. I mean, kill them. It just seems ridiculous. Anyway, so we've seen Mr. Trump's tokens very, volatile, and some of them have taken losses. Trump, Marga, Dolan Trump, which is my worst investment ever. I bought it at $1.16, and it's now, God, 12 cents. So I'm glad I didn't tell people to buy that one. But anyway, but yeah, it's just it's not a great story, really, when you think about Mr. Trump getting assassinated or potentially assassinated. It's going to cause a lot of volatility within his tokens. He's also doing, he's talking about setting up, what's it called, World Financial or something? No, World Liberty, a cryptocurrency exchange. And there's a rumor, or I don't know whether it's true, that he could be, using X, Elon Musk's platform and so forth. And that's why Dodge looks very good technically. Dodge to me looks like he can go to $1 very quickly. Now we got the FOMC cut at 50 basis points. It wasn't a surprise to me. I've been calling that for ages. The FOMC was way behind the curve, and they will cut again because the US economic situation, as I said, is terrible. And I don't believe in the inflation numbers or the unemployment numbers or anything that comes out from the US economic statisticians. I think it's all garbology, and the same in the rest of the world. The numbers are garbology. Unemployment is rising dramatically. Inflation's not 2% per annum, like $100 last year, 102 this year. Inflation's up 200%, people, and the interest rate market has been totally manipulated by the Fed. They're being sued in a class action because of mismanagement of the economy and mismanagement of the debt scenario. And it's an absolute disaster, a disaster. What else can I say? So what else did we see? So with that, we did find Bitcoin go higher, higher, higher and higher. We saw that MicroStrategy is still buying Bitcoin. They've got, gosh, I think about 252,000 Bitcoin now, and they've already made billions of profit out of Bitcoin. So MicroStrategy really has become the Bitcoin development company. The interesting thing is it's actually outperformed, the stock has outperformed Bitcoin, and which is just crazy. It just shows you there's a bias to buy equities rather than cryptocurrency. I'd rather be in Bitcoin than MicroStrategy. But clearly the equity market pays, as I said, for forward earnings. And it doesn't make a lot of sense. That's why I believe the equity market is severely overpriced. But again, honestly, it's not about the fundamentals of equity markets either. What the equity people will see is just cheap money, cheap money. The Fed, again, keeps cutting interest rates. They can borrow money to invest it, whatever, and it's just cheap money. And it will propel these risk markets. And risk markets are clearly equity markets, corporate bond markets, for example, and cryptocurrency and many other risk markets as well. So we've seen Standard Chartered, they're getting much more into crypto ventures, particularly in the Middle East. They're building a business in China and Asia. They're doing an amazing story, and they're very pro cryptocurrency. They're looking for an exchange, and they're integrating with the UAE, which is the Arab Emirates, which is huge. Which is very, very pro cryptocurrency. They've also got a custody license under the Dubai Financial Service Authority, and they're partnered with crypto.com. Now we had crypto.com in our investment portfolio number 5. I am keeping an eye on that. They're doing very well, crypto.com. You should see some performance out of that one. We don't hold it in our investment portfolio number 7 because there's better coins, but I still think if you're holding it from investment portfolio number 5, continue to hold it because it is very good for crypto.com as well. Standard Chartered Bank's a very big bank, and they're very exposed to the Asian and African market where there's huge growth, okay? Also, Chainlink's going with Fireblocks, and that's a great story for them. Chainlinks just keep putting on more and more clients, and it's very, very cheap. The graph was doing very well. It is AI. AITX is doing very well. We're in that as well. And then using Polygon Labs as well for integration, which is a great story as well. I like both of those very much. The graph was in investment portfolio number 5. We don't hold it in investment portfolio number 7, but it will continue to do very well. We're actually in IOTX in investment portfolio number 7. So that's a good story in itself. ASI is one of my favorite coins of all time. It's still extremely cheap. I'd rather buy that more than anything. Also, there was, the what is it? The SEC people had to also talk to Congress about, their functionality and, their actions. And certainly Mr. Gensler, the head of the SEC, is under pressure. There's a whole lot of people wanting to sack the guy because he's an academic and not practical enough. And I think he should go. He's just not the right person for the job. That's for sure. So what else we got here? Let me have a look. Bear with me for a minute. What else? Oh, yeah, Ripple want to launch a stablecoin. I don't know why they want to do that. Tether owns 85% of the market. It's a joke. It's a stupid idea for Ripple, and I cannot see people buying a corporate stablecoin. Okay, Circle, but look, Circle only has about 10%. What is it? I think Tether has about 75% of the market, and Circle might have about 20%, something like that. But, it's not a great story, seriously. We know Mr. Larson's been selling some XRP lately. We know XRP keeps coming to market and issuing more and more XRP into the market, which is not great from their, their trust account, and it's not a great story, seriously. We see that Solana is very well supported over and above Ethereum, and I love Solana. Solana's got a lot going on. That is for sure, a lot going on. So Solana has been online for 7 straight months. It seems to have got through its problems where it was actually offline. It does a lot in terms of transactions per second. It's an amazing story, but I really like Chainlink, and I think Chainlink will be the big performer this year, and ASI. They're my favorite coins, but I do have other favorite coins within our investment portfolio number 7. That's for sure. All right, so what else we got here? Sorry if this is a bit long, guys and girls, but there's always so much to talk about. We see that Ethereum, Bitcoin, again, Bitcoin is killing Ethereum. Why wouldn't you be long, Bitcoin and sell Ethereum? You can buy a call on Bitcoin and buy a put on Ethereum, so you're short Ethereum and long Bitcoin, or you can be long Bitcoin against Ethereum on futures, which means you long Bitcoin, short Ethereum. There's a lot of opportunity in that one. I think Ethereum continues to underperform. It's too expensive. I just don't like it. They're not putting on more clients or anything else. Now, Power Ledger, which is our investment portfolio number 5, Power Ledger is an amazing story. It's an Australian operation, and they are using Solana, which I think is really interesting. Very interesting. They're in energy technology and that sort of thing. Powerlink's a blockchain-based transactive energy solution, including peer-to-peer energy trading, virtual power plants, and trading in carbon credits and renewable energy certificates. The CEO of Powerlink, it's a lady, very smart woman, extremely smart. They operate in WA, Western Australia, and Powerlink was in our investment portfolio number 5. It's a terrific story, and I'm keeping an eye on that. Particularly when they're using Solana. Also, Solana has offered integration to Travala. They have something like, many clients that book for all sorts of things, tourism and that sort of thing. So that's a good story for Solana as well. Solana's got a lot going on. Now, Chainlink, as I said, is an amazing story. They're always developing their system. They're always back testing. They're always checking their security standards. And it is just too cheap for the money it brings in. Tron, another great story. Too cheap for what it is, 15 cents. Seriously, it's a joke. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They have 200 million clients. They're killing it on fees. They are bringing in, I've got to be honest with you, they're bringing in a lot of money in terms of fees, and it doesn't reflect in the valuation of their price. And that's where the crypto market is still baby in the woods, because, seriously, it's got no idea about how to value cryptocurrency. And I'm glad you all have taken my subscription because we know how to value cryptocurrency. Anyway, guys and girls, that's all I'll say today. I'm sorry I've only brought out 2 podcasts this week, but I've been extremely, extremely busy. I'm really into looking at hacking and being a good hacker. And there's a lot of interesting stuff I'll bring forward to you guys in the next couple of weeks that you do need to know to reduce your operational risk. Anyway, that's enough for me today. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you're all well. Please look after your family, your beautiful children, your beautiful dogs, and any other poor animals out there that are not being fed or mistreated, and just to make this world a better place. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you.